Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning. So today we will continue our last chapter, is chapter 7, carbon steel and cast iron. Previously we already covered chapter 6, phase transformation. Okay, and then we learn about the phase diagram. Start to build a phase diagram is to the solidification or cooling process of the mixture of two different materials with the composition in terms of weight percent. Okay, and we raise percent of other foreign materials. Okay, and start to look at the graph, the curve and the line transform from the liquid solution to the solid solution. Okay, and then we learn about the phase transformation from the certain region. This is peritectic region and also the eutectic region. Okay, and from there we learn about the microscopic and the composition of mixture in terms of liquid and in terms of solid. And we learn about the Lieber rules to get the fraction of liquid. Okay, and also we learn about the combination of different materials. We mainly discuss on the lead-tin phase diagram, okay, and also other phase diagram such as copper, nickel phase diagram. In this chapter, we will continue to cover of the iron carbon phase diagram. Okay, in this we have three parts here. The first part, which is part A, we will cover the equilibrium diagram of iron carbon. Okay, in this part we have iron, and then we raise the percentage of carbon at a certain amount, and then there is a phase diagram, and then we try to analyze the phase diagram according to the amount of the carbon that we raise, okay, in terms of percentage. And then part B, we have heat treatment of steel and time temperature transformation diagram, which is we call it TTT diagram. Okay, so this one also related to the iron carbon phase diagram. Okay, this one is the extension of the iron carbon phase diagram, and we try to look at the different phase diagram. This is they call it time temperature transformation diagram. And finally, we will look at the cast iron, okay, and then the alloy steel. Okay, this one is mainly related to the applications when we put different amount of carbon, and it will produce different properties, and it will use for the different application. This chapter is mainly for the iron carbon phase diagram, and we will look at the composition, the properties, the microstructure, and also finally we will look at the application. Okay, so and then we finish our course. The whole concept of the engineering material, we will cover metallic material and also the non-metallic material. That means we have metal section, the group of the material, and then we have non-metal group of material. Okay, in terms of the metal group of material, we have the two different group. The first one is ferrous. Ferrous indicates the iron. Okay, iron, or in Malay we call it the C. Okay, so the ferrous, mainly ferrous. The main amount is ferrous, and then additional of the composition foreign material. Okay, so we have iron, the main matrix, and then we put carbon, the small portion according to the percentage. Okay, and if the percentage is from 0 to 2%, this one is they call it steel. Okay, so if the 2% up to the something percent, they call it cast iron. Okay, so that the difference in percentage, they will put a term related to the application. Okay, so and then there is a non-ferrous. Non-ferrous, we have a non-iron base. We have magnesium, we have aluminium, we have copper or something. So when they make an addition of a foreign material, they will has a bit different properties like aluminium alloy, magnesium alloy, and we have a copper alloy, something like that. Okay, for the non-metal, they are supposed to be organic and inorganic. So for the metal group of material, we have ferrous. This is the composed of primary of iron, I already explained, and is alloy. So it alloy basically can be classified in terms of steel and cast iron. Okay, so for the non-ferrous, there are a lot of element that involved in the combination with the foreign materials. Okay, so that and it's also called non-ferrous and is alloy. Okay, for the steel, we have the composition of the because of the application previously, we also deal with steel. We know that the steel used to build building, bridge, okay, and all other structure. Okay, so that the steel can be divided into several type. We have a low alloy, and then we have a high alloy in terms of carbon composition. And we have low alloy, we have low carbon, medium carbon, high carbon. Okay, and then there is a classification in terms of high strength, heat treatment, and also can be related to the usable for the tools. Okay, and for the high alloy, can be classified to the tool and the stainless steel alloy. Okay. So and then we have steel, and then we go for the cast iron. After this, we will see the cast iron region and the steel region in the phase diagram. Okay, so for the cast iron, we have several group. We have gray iron, ductile iron, white iron, malleable iron. Okay, and then for the non-ferrous, we have already explained to you and is alloy a lot of non-ferrous material. So in this course, which is material science, we not covered this non-ferrous because a lot of non-ferrous involved this alloy. So for the organic, okay, we have a plastic, we have wood, paper, rubber, leather, petroleum, and then we have inorganic. That one is the chemical reaction to produce materials, okay, which is cement, glass, ceramic, graphite. Okay. So we will start to understand the information related to the iron, okay, which is or ferrous metal, okay, and some they call it ferrous, some they call it iron. In Malay, they call it besi. Okay, so these are kind of metal which is the if not interesting if we discuss on the ferrous, pure ferrous, because the pure ferrous is very soft. Previously, we already learned about the hardness of material in terms of to deal with the putting the foreign element inside to make it harden. So the ferrous also the same thing. This is very soft, and we need to manipulate it or to put other materials, foreign of impurities inside to strengthen and to get the this in term of properties for the application. Okay, in this this chapter we will deal with the ferrous, and we add a small amount of carbon to make it different in terms of properties. So previously we know that if we deal with besi ferrous, we know that this besi is magnetic. Normally ferrous is magnetic, and if also existent in the non-magnetic. Okay, so after this we will see the ferrous at the certain temperature it will behave the non-magnetic, okay, behavior. Okay, so when we put a small amount of carbon, it will produce a ferrous alloy, and mainly we will discuss the specific term. The ferrous alloy which can classify into two, which is the uh, steel and also cast iron. Okay, for the application they will use mainly we will see from the household kitchen where the building the component of car vehicle, so they will use many application. Okay, okay, other uh, iron alloy, we have cast iron, okay, which is mainly used in the different applications such as vehicle parts, engine. Okay, so that this after this we will see the in the phase diagram the composition of carbon. Okay, uh, in term of steel and also cast iron. So the advantage we will learn about this for ferrous metal. Okay, the first one is containing compound exists in abundant quantity because of the ferrous is mainly used in the iron age also, so that the iron age they use the metal this metal um, to produce tools, okay, weapon, okay, and also the household kitchen to use this for the daily life. Okay, and then it's an abundant material in earth, so that very easy to get and also very cheap. Okay, and we produce using relative economical extraction, refining, alloying, and fabrication technique. So a lot of research have been done, and uh, tools, the machining, the manufacturing related to this ferrous metal is widely known, and is from there it will be economical extraction. Okay, ferrous alloy are versatile, tailored to have a wide range of mechanical and physical properties. Okay, so when we know about the phase diagram, we can make a prediction, we can uh, make a manipulation of carbon at this small amount of percentage to get the application that we want. Okay, especially tailor with the properties. Okay, once we know about the properties, the microstructure, and then we try to use it as a application, okay, to produce a product. High strength to weight ratio, perfect for use in the product, and needs to be a strong but lightweight. So know that steel highly used, a very strong and mainly used in the building of fish building. So that one is very strong and is compared to the weight. Okay, high quality and durable, and also recyclable and environmental friendly. So ferrous metals can be used to recycle. Okay, and once when we don't use anymore, that we can recycle it to make it a different application. Okay, disadvantage of this ferrous metal is prone to corrosion because of the sea. So once it's exposed to the oxygen, it will oxide and to become a ferrous oxide. So we need to extra careful in terms of the maintenance. Okay, so and the rust can be make extra cost or something like this to protect. Okay, so being used in machinery and ability of ferrous metal can be affected by the magnetic field. Okay, so because we know that the properties of the ferrous is magnetic, so the magnetic can affect the other magnetic, okay, in the magnetic field. So it's kind of a disadvantage, okay, because of this when we exposed to the magnetic field. Due to the high strength factor of ferrous metal, they required more energy and strength. Okay, because of this metal very strong, we need extra energy or machinery to give a force in order to deform this metal. Okay, so we will go for the related information of the iron. So the iron is basically has electropy. So the electropy, if we learn about the electropy from the chemistry, which is uh, the same form but with a different structure of the atomic. Okay, so let's say if we look at the different form of the carbon. Okay, so before we go for the iron, so it's also exhibit for the carbon. Let's say we have a graphite, we have diamond, also the carbon base, but different in terms of atomic arrangement. Okay, this is due to the temperature and pressure involved, okay, during the solidification. Okay, and also happen to the tin. Okay, we have a different atomic arrangement of tin. Okay, and we have the white tin and also the gray tin due to the temperature and pressure, and finally it will produce a different atomic arrangement. Okay, that one we have the different type of the atomic arrangement. We call it the electropy. Okay, so in this case, the iron also happen. Okay, when we try to make a solidification at a certain temperature, it will solidify and then it will produce a different atomic arrangement in terms of the FCC, BCC arrangement. Okay, in this case, we have the three form of the electrode of iron. The first one we have alpha iron. Okay, and then we have second one is a gamma iron, and the third one we have the delta iron. So it will behave the atomic arrangement with the different structure, okay, at the cubic cell. Okay, so this one, if we go for the solidification process, or we have the heating process at the different temperature. For the iron, okay, the molten iron is around 1540 degrees Celsius, That one is a liquid state. During the solidification at the certain stage of the temperature, it will behave a different atomic arrangement in terms of we call it the electrope of alpha ion, gamma ion, delta ion. Okay, in this case of the transition between 1540 to 1400, the transition of the electrope of the delta ion. Okay, and then for the 1400 to 910, there is a gamma ion, and below than 910, we have the alpha ion or alpha ferrous. Okay, so the transition during the molten ion to the cooling, during the cooling process or the solidification process, we can see a difference of the electrode, okay, in terms of the atomic arrangement. Okay, so if you go through deeply in the diagram, which is indicates the temperature versus time, we can see there is a change of the phase in iron. This one we talk about the pure iron. We not put other material. Okay, for the pure iron, we have the electrope of alpha, gamma, and beta, delta, which can be discussed by using this diagram of temperature versus time. Okay, as you can see, there is a delta is in the region of 1540 to 1400. This is the region of the delta ion, and then below that to 910, we have the gamma ion. Okay, and then we have the alpha ion. Okay, below then below then 910. Okay, so that there is a transition, the transformation of the ion, okay, during the process, okay, of the solidification. And also during the cooling process, there is a different electrode, and it will also project the different properties. Okay. So for the ferrous, okay, we already know that I already discussed before, consists of two. When we include foreign material, which is carbon content, up to 2%, this from 0 to 2%, this region of the phase diagram, we will call it steel, okay, steel area. If we increase the carbon up to 6.67%, this is the region of between 2 and 6.67%. This is the region of the cast iron. Okay, from there we can make analysis, we make projection, and we look at the composition and also the microstructure of the phase, okay, of the liquid and solid solution. Okay, it's not necessary for the steel. In the steel region, there is other small amount of foreign material. Okay, not just for the carbon, it's also other foreign material include. Okay, and also for the cast iron, other foreign element instead of the carbon exist. Okay, so this is the phase diagram of the iron carbon phase diagram. So as you can see in this phase diagram, there is a lot of curve and also straight line involved at a certain temperature. In this case, we have a line of the temperature of 723 degrees Celsius, and also we have the line of 1131 degrees Celsius. Okay, from there we can get the information of liquid, and also the solid solution involved. Okay, so let's discuss on this phase diagram. Okay, so as you can see, the y-axis is the temperature, whereby the temperature of the varies from 200 to the 1500. As we can see, there is a diagram curve mainly involved in this area. Okay, and also we can see in this area. Okay, and also in this area. Okay, so previously we already learned about the liquid, and also we have alpha, and we also have a beta. Okay, two combination of material, and also we have alpha plus liquid, beta plus liquid, alpha plus beta. Okay, in this case, we have a different type of the alpha beta because of iron has its electron. We have alpha, we have gamma, and also delta. Okay, and also the combination of the other carbon. Okay, so we have the Fe3C. Okay, the combination of the mixture of the carbon and ferrous that produce the Fe3C. Okay, so if you can see, there is the combination of carbon in the solid solution of iron. Okay, along the way, there is many terms involved. Okay, previously we only have alpha plus liquid, but in this iron carbon phase diagram, there is other term when we have alpha plus liquid. Okay, so other name. Okay, after this we will see the name of a different when we combine. We mix with the alpha iron and carbon. Okay, so as you can see, there is in this phase diagram, if compared to other phase diagram, in this phase diagram, carbon only add at the amount of 667 here. So 667% only. Okay, so this phase diagram is mainly discussed on the 6.67. Okay, other component, higher component is not applicable. Okay, because in this region, many things happen, especially for this region, higher temperature, and this region, and also this region. Okay, so after this, we will discuss this region mainly in this region. Okay, so if we can see, there is information of the alpha ferrous here. Okay, and then we have the cementite. Okay, the term of cementite. After this, we will explain more on the cementite. And then we have the region here below then 723. We have the ferrite plus cementite. Okay, and then we have the region between 1131 to the 723. There is a austenite plus cementite. Okay, after this we will see. And then this is the austenite region. Okay, whereby the region of the term from the gamma iron. Okay, the gamma iron, the term they call it austenite. Okay, so there is a alpha iron or alpha ferrite, and then we have the gamma iron, they call it austenite. And at this region, the small part, after this we will see the bigger part, is the delta iron. Okay, so this region of the austenite, and then there is a liquid region here, and then the transition region, alpha liquid plus austenite, and this region is the liquid plus cementite. Okay, and then this one is the area of the cementite at the 6.67. So main region up to the 2.0 percentage of carbon, we call it, this region is the region of steel. Okay, so the region of steel mainly from 0 to 2.0%. Okay, some of the textbook up to 2.14, something like that percent. Okay, so and then we have the cast iron region, which is the region from 2 to 6.67. Okay, so previously I already explained related to the steel and cast iron. This is the region where the area that we will discuss. The steel is in the region of 0 to 2.0 carbon in percent, and for the cast iron we have the region between 2% to the 6.67% of the carbon. Okay, from the region we will discuss deeply on the area of steel, so that if we have a vertical line at the different percentage of the carbon, so we will discuss on the composition and also on the microscopic. Okay, and then we'll try to draw the what will happen along the way. Let's say we have line A, line E, and line B. Along the way of line A, during the solidification, what will happen to the microscopic structure, okay, and also the composition. Okay, the information related to this we already discussed on chapter 6. Okay, so and what will happen to line E and what will happen to line B. Okay, so in this area we will discuss mainly on the eutectic area, so whereby previously we know about the eutectic and peritectic. So in this area we have the V shape, something like this. So the transformation of the gamma to the ferrite and cementite area, there is a, they call it a eutectic area. Okay, at the eutectic temperature here, 7 to 3. Okay, so this three line we can discuss on the this area at 0.8% before. Okay, we call it the hypoeutectic or hypoeutectoid area, and this line is the eutectoid area, and 0.8 and upper at this 2.0 we have the hypereutectoid. Okay, from there, from this line we can analyze to get the composition and also the microscopic diagram. Okay. So the term that we will use after this, we not going to discuss on the, because of the name is too long, ferrite plus cementite. So there are other term they will use as a perlite. Okay, so in this case ferrite plus cementite, they will call it the term of perlite. Okay, so so this term after this we will mainly use, okay, to discuss. Okay, the benefit of this phase diagram of the iron carbon phase diagram, okay, we will get several information. The first one is related to the solid phase. Okay, and after this we will see phase involved, and also the invariant reaction, whereby the in this area we have the temperature maintained or temperature constant, but the phase transformation takes place at this area. Okay, and we have the critical temperature, whereby we can see at this temperature what will happen. Okay, and then we have the information of the eutectoid, hypoeutectoid and hypereutectoid steel. Okay. So we will go one by one of the solid phase. Okay. For the solid phase, we have the region of the alpha ferrite. We have the gamma ferrite, okay, which is austenite, and also the intermediate compound, which is the mixture of the ferrous and also carbon to be a ferrous 3C. Okay, this one they call it iron carbide. Okay, so we have the phase transformation of the alpha ferrite, gamma ferrite, which is austenite, and then we have cementite and also the delta ferrite here. Okay, so and then if we look at the unit cell of the because of the electrode different, so it will produce for the alpha ferrite is in terms of the BCC, austenite is the FCC, this one is orthorhombic, and for finally we have the delta ferrite is in BCC. Okay, so during the solidification takes place, previously we see that's the region of the alpha ferrite, gamma ferrite, and also delta ferrite here. And for the term that we use, austenite and cementite is at this phase diagram is something like this in this area. Okay. Right. Okay. So in the solid phase, the other information that we obtain in terms of the composition, okay, or the solubility at the maximum percent. Okay, if you can see at the alpha ferrite here. Okay, so the alpha ferrite region is mainly in this area, whereby the maximum percentage of carbon is somewhere around here. Okay, if you look at the bigger size, okay, maybe you can see at this area. Okay, at the maximum value of solubility of carbon. Okay, and then we project to the x-axis down here, we can get the value is around 0.025, okay, percentage of carbon. Okay, that one is at 723 degrees Celsius here. Okay, at this point. Okay, this is the carbon is slightly soluble in the alpha ion. Okay, once the amount of carbon is increased, the alpha ion is not exist anymore. It will transform to other, which is gamma ion. Okay, which is the austenite. Okay, so the austenite region is whereby the maximum of the carbon soluble is in this area. Okay, so the projection we can make projection up to the intersection of y-axis, which is the value of 2. Okay, this is the value of the 2% of the maximum of the solubility of carbon at the temperature of 1130. Okay, this temperature. Okay, and then for the cementite, this maximum solubility is in this line, which is 6.67%. Okay, and for the delta ferrite, the delta ferrite is somewhere around here. If I can make a bigger size here. Okay, is somewhere around here. Okay, at this point. Okay, and then we make projection to the intersect with the x-axis. The value is 0.09. Okay, so this is the information that we can get for the maximum solubility of the carbon. Okay, so for the in the solid phase. So for the properties, if we look at the properties of alpha ferrite, is soft and ductile. Okay, if compared to the cementite, there is hard and brittle. Okay, for the austenite also the same, soft and ductile. Okay, And for the properties of magnetic, okay, for the alpha ferrite is highly magnetic, okay, if the area is below than 723, okay. So this area is the magnetic region, and for the upper to the higher than 700, whereby which is have the electrode of austenite, gamma region and delta region, there is no existing of the magnetic properties. Okay. And then we will go for the invariant reaction, whereby this invariant information related to the temperature constant, whereby we can see the transformation of the phase. In this case, we have three region. Okay, previously we have in this region, okay, this region whereby we can see temperature constant. The second one is in this area where the temperature constant at 1130, and third one is the area of temperature constant at 723. Okay, we will discuss on the three temperature point here. Okay, at this point we have a temperature at 1493, whereby this area is, we can see a lot is happening in terms of curve and line here. Okay, we can see 3 points involved at this point C, and we have this point B, P, and also we have point B here. Okay, along the way we have transformation of the liquid and solid solution here. Okay, in terms of this line 1493, okay, we have the liquid area is somewhere around here. Okay, liquid area, whereby the composition of liquid is this point. Okay, so we have the composition of carbon in percent is 0.53%. Okay, and if we look at the other composition of carbon, whereby in this area we have the delta ferrite, which is the composition of 0.09% of carbon. Okay, and also we have this point whereby the austenite is taking place at 0.1 C. Okay, so at this point we can see delta liquid transform to the austenite at this point, whereby this one they call it a peritectic reaction. Okay, okay, at this point, whereby at 1493, at this point the delta and liquid transform to be a austenite, which is delta ferrous. Okay, this area. Okay, the significance of this area that we want to study is not quite important, because of this area is no austenite will be present at room temperature, because of this area is quite high temperature. Okay, it's not very important. Okay, so next we will discuss on the on this line, which is the temperature of 1130, that we will see 3 points involved. The first point is at this point, and then second point as this eutectic area. This one is eutectic, and also this line. Okay, the point here. Okay, so the during this point we can see liquid form at this point at 4.3% of carbon, whereby there is a boundary of composition of liquid. And then if you can see the produce of the austenite at this point, okay, and also the cementite at this point, okay. So, and we can see there is a eutectic point here, whereby the liquid transform to the austenite and cementite. Okay, the austenite and cementite, they call it, we transform to the austenite and cementite here. Okay, the importance of this study is this one is involved with the area of the cast iron, okay, cast iron region. Okay, and then we can also get the information of whereby the invariant reaction at this temperature, okay, at 723 degrees Celsius. At this point, we also has a eutectite reaction at this point, whereby we have this below the line and after the line. Okay, in this case, at this point, we have the transition of austenite to the ferrite plus cementite, which is the pearlite region. Okay, so in this case, mainly we can get the information of the composition of alpha ferrite, which is 0.025 here, and also at this point, we have the cementite at the composition of 6.67. Okay, so the important thing to understand this, because of this area is the steel area, because of the we can manipulate this area by looking at the different heat treatment, okay, whereby we can apply at different temperature. Okay, and then we will discuss on the critical temperature. If we look at the we already learned about the during the solidification of this combination of iron carbon, and we will see the phase transformation as this at this area, whereby we have at at this area, which is the temperature at 723 degrees Celsius. Okay, and then we can see the slightly slightly decrease in terms of the alpha and gamma here. Along the way, we have a line here, and also along the way, there is a line of ACM, which is the cementite area between the alpha ferrite and also cementite. Okay, so in this case, we can see at the critical point at point here, point C. So there is a carbon at carbon content below than 0.8 and after 0.8. Okay, this is the line indicates the temperature. Okay, so and finally we will go for the type of plain carbon steel. Okay, and this area we can see the content of carbon at 0.80 0.8%, whereby at this area we have the less amount than 0.8 and also the highest amount between 0.8 up to 2%. Okay, so in this case, if we can see as this area we have eutectite area, whereby below 0.8 we call it the hypoeutectoid steel, and higher up to 2% we have the hypereutectite steel. Okay, so for the application for the hypereutectite, this area mainly most of the commercial steel they will use, and for the hypereutectite more than 1.4%. If we increase the carbon at this amount, it will start to make it brittle. Okay, it's strong but brittle. Okay, but for the application, it will use at the certain application. And finally, we will go for the microstructure diagram and also for the composition. Okay, so for the microstructure development depend on the carbon content on and also heat treatment. So the carbon content exists in the percentage of the iron, it will produce the different microstructure. Okay, so from there we can analyze, we can draw the microstructure at the certain point, and also the microstructure will produce differently if we involve with the heat. Okay, so let's see the microstructure produced at the different point or the different area. In this case, we look at this carbon content of 0.8, and we make a vertical line along the way. What will happen to the point A, point B, okay, and other point, okay, related to the microstructure diagram. Okay, in this case, at this point, please look at this point A. Okay, this point A whereby we have the gamma ferrous, okay, yeah, or we call it gamma iron. In this area, we have the microstructure is somewhere something around something like this, whereby we have the grain boundary here, and then the boundary involved in this area is the gamma. Okay, and along the way during the solidification at point B, okay, whereby the below than 723 degrees Celsius, we can see the gamma transform to be a alpha plus cementite here. This one, alpha plus cementite. Okay, so the gamma will decompose and finally to become a pearlite. Okay, in term of the term here, alpha plus cementite, which is pearlite. Okay, during the transformation takes place at this eutectoid area. Okay, line here. So we can see there is a consists of the alternating layer of lamella. We can see this kind of lamella sandwich of the alpha and also cementite. Okay, here to be a pearlite. Okay, we have in the real image. After this, we will see the different color of gray color of the lamella. Okay, indicates the of the alpha and also cementite. Okay, and if we look at the composition of the alpha here at this point, you can see there is a alpha composition of 0.25 if we project to this axis, and for the cementite is this point, okay, whereby the composition is 6.67. Okay, so if you look from the microscopic diagram, this one is taking from by using a scanning electron microscope. This is the pearlite microstructure image. You can see the light phase. Okay, the light color is indicates the alpha ferrite. Okay, for the black color is darker phase is indicate the cementite. Okay, so as you can see, there is a lamella at the certain orientation. Okay, is like this one is a boundary here. Okay, like this. So the orientation taking place, different orientation at the different grain boundary. Okay, and then it will sandwich around something like this. Okay, and what will happen if you look at the region of the hypoeutectoid? Okay, whereby the region is the carbon content is below 0.8, indicates at this line here. So what will happen at point C? Okay, and also at point D here. And also we can look at the point E and point F. Okay, so what will happen? Okay, in this case, we can see at point C, this region is the gamma region. Okay, as you can see, this macro structure, okay, diagram is something like this. During the process of solidification, the gamma will transform to be a alpha and this region. So during the process, we can see that at point D, there is a existing of the alpha and gamma phase. Okay, this region, the coexisting of this two phase, and we can see the starting of the existing of the alpha at this nodular something like this. Okay, start to produce. Okay, so as you can see, the alpha is start to nucleate and start bigger and bigger. Okay, from here there is no, because of the existing of the gamma, and alpha is taking place, start to nucleate and start to bigger and bigger during the solidification at point C here. We can see the alpha is bigger and finally it merge each other to become a bigger line here, something like this. Okay. So, and then if you want to look at the composition at point D here, maybe we can make it bigger. Diagram is something like this. So during the process, we can make a tie line here to indicate the value of the this point and also this point. Okay, so for the composition of alpha at this point is around 0.02. Okay, carbon here, and at the composition of gamma at this point is whereby the value composition of carbon is 0.5%. Okay, so along the way, maybe at point C and point F, okay, we can point E and point F, we can see at point E we have the bigger area of the alpha, and then it merge each other and become something like this, and whereby we can see at point E a little bit higher than the value of the temperature of 7 to 3 degrees Celsius. So to make it easy, we can get the value to at this point and also at this point. Okay, for the composition of alpha, we can straight away to get the value of 0.025, and for the gamma point area, composition is 0.8. Okay, percent here. So for the microstructure at this area, can draw is something like this. Okay, whereby the amount area of the gamma is become less and the area of alpha is become bigger. Okay, and finally at this point F, the point whereby the below than 723 degrees Celsius, the increasing at this point we can see there is a lamella of the amount of alpha and also cementite taking place is something like this. Okay, there is a sandwich lamella happen at this area. Okay, and this we call it the existing of the pearlite, the term of the existing of the alpha ferrous and also cementite. Okay, so at this point we can see there is a composition of the alpha eutectoid, okay, whereby this is the white color and also the cementite of the darker color. Okay, and also the line that produce combination merge of the alpha line here, they call it pro-eutectoid alpha. Okay, so at this area, the presence of the pearlite. And what will happen at the hyper eutectoid area, whereby at this region, this line, we can see at point GHI. Okay, in this case, we can see at the micro structure taking place at gamma here, and then at during the solidification of point H, we can see the cementite taking place, start to nucleate and become bigger and bigger, and finally it will merge each other to make it is something like this. Okay, and we can see there is a cementite is when it merges all together, it will to produce the pro-eutectide cementite here, and also the lamella sandwich along this grain boundary, whereby the cementite and also alpha is sandwiched all together. Okay, so from the composition of the point I here is below than little bit below than 723 degrees Celsius. We can get the value of alpha, whereby the value of alpha is taking from this value, and also the existing of cementite at this value. Okay, whereby the value is 6.63%. Okay. So if you look through from this line of the 723 degrees Celsius, which is the below, a little bit below than the eutectoid line here, you can see at this point A, B, and C, which is indicate the lamella is somewhere transformation takes place when we increase the content of carbon up to 6.67%. We can get the transformation of the microstructure, whereby we have the pro-eutectide alpha here, and finally it will become a pro-eutectide cementite. Okay, in this line. Okay, the process change if compared to the phase diagram in previous chapter, which is lead lead and tin. We can see different, slightly different. Okay, in terms of composition, the same microstructure but different composition inside. Okay, so I'm at the end of the lecture.